Hey everybody, the Sir Walter Jones Show. It is the evening edition, baby. Yeah, this is a short news tip here that I want to give. It's like an after show of the show. It's Wednesday today. Today is Wednesday the 9th, I think, of August. We'll talk real quick about something here. Taking my little stroll here, and I was thinking about this war with Korea. In the book of Acts, Chapter 4, there are 4 words that came across the books, the pages. Here's what it said from these new appointed and selected apostles. It said, Lord, behold thy threatenings. Yeah, and I began to think about how the word of our dear President Donald Trump came across the screen, which was really not on the teleprompter. It wasn't a part of the script. It just came out of him. And he said, fire and fury. Yeah, here's a problem here. Let me give you a little history here for those of you who don't really like history. I'm going to give it to you anyway, and you can go ahead and look at this later or not at all. But I'm going to help you out here. Let me set this up with you because a lot of people have been hitting me up and says, are we going to war with North Korea? My direct answer is, not just yet. Not yet. But many of you, you can't ignore this Kim Jong-il. See, because Kim Jong-il is a little boy. There's a little boy in him. He's a tyrant, all right? And he has come under this same ladder of succession like many of these pastors who have children come over under this empire of successions in their churches, okay? And he wants to be like his father or greater than his father or grandfather. And he's a renegade. He's rogue, okay? He's a maverick as it pertains to the things that should be followed with the agreements of the UN, the United Nations. I'm going nerdy here. Help me out here. Okay, so somebody says, are we going to war? Well, Donald Trump cannot declare war. We know that. So what's going to have to happen is we're going to have to sit down with our young people and kind of help them out with the history of how things are set up. Okay, it's called bicameral, I think it's called. Congress has been set up. You have to go to Article 1, and there's about 10 sections in Article 1. But pay close attention to Section 8. But bicameral simply means set up in 2 chambers. 2 chambers. That means the 2 chambers. And this bicameral situation is an old one because it goes way back. Almost half of the world is set up under this same system, 2 chambers. There is the Senate and there is the House of Representatives. They're called the House of Representatives for a reason, for the same reason why we may call women housewives. Am I going there? Yeah. You see, housewives take care of the issues of the house, the things of the house. And if you look at the Proverbs 31 woman, notice this one aspect of the Proverbs 31 woman is this. She does almost everything as it pertains to keeping the house. That's both inside the house and outside the house. Did I say that right? Yes, I did. Notice in Proverbs 31, you hear from the man, but he only says something, but he doesn't really do anything. He out there working, but he builds a house for her to keep. He goes out and work. And notice the Bible says that he praises her in the gates. That's it. You don't hear about him no more after that. Most of that story is about her. She does all these things. She builds things. She gathers things in purple and linen and takes care of the children. And she's taking care of the house, even in the snow. She does all those things. So the House of Representatives or Congress do things, and it took 10 sections in Article 1 for you to know what they do. They are to do the imposts and excise. They are to set up taxes. They are to collect the taxes. They are to set up a militia. They have to set up a navy. They are to be responsible for taking care of the business of commerce with foreign nations and with the local states and with the Indian tribes. Okay, you got to see when this document came to be. In the be. All right. They are to, God set up so many things. So they are the house. You see? And the powers that be in these three branches, they're separate, but they're equal. And it is checks and balances, and it is the best system there is in the world, because half of the world has turned over into this particular system, so that we won't be a part of the same thing we come up out of under Great Britain. Stay with me here, all right? So the executive branch and the legislative branch and the judicial branch, all three have great power, but one is not over the other. So the president was not given the task of declaring war. Congress was. Hear me. So, have there been scuffles? Have the United States president been able to direct bombs to hit any place outside of America? Yes, he have. Why? Because he is the commander and chief of the armed forces. But he can only act the same way a police can when he wants to come into your house. He must have what's called probable cause. Oh, did I go there? Yes, I did. He must have a probable cause. He can't just come into your house. He must feel in his gut, through his training, that something in your house is illegal, okay? Or he saw something happen, and probable cause gives him the right to come in. All right. The president of the United States can't declare war, but if he sees something coming this way, a bomb or a missile, I'm going to North Korea here, then we have the right to implement a strike. Okay, so North Korea been shooting missiles in the sky. They call them ICBMs. I think they're intercontinental ballistic missiles, all right? And they've been testing them for a long time, and many of them have been duds, and we've been laughing at them. But lately, we have not been laughing, because they've been reaching altitudes that they should not be able to reach, because we thought they were not able, all right? This last one reached about 1,700 miles, all right, in the sky. That's from Chicago to maybe the southern part of Florida. That's from Chicago, where I am, all the way to the west borders of South Dakota. That's far, y'all. And we have not been too nervous, because there have not been any bombs or heads on top of the missiles. They've just been shooting duds, because they felt that North Korea don't have the technology to make these warheads, but they do now. Oops. You see, if you keep letting a guy like him keep going at it, keep trying, if at first you don't succeed, try again. You told your children to do that, and they will succeed. Well, tyrants do the same thing. The enemy does the same thing. So, the enemy of mine enemy is my friend. North Korea have friends. And guess what? We have friends that are friends with North Korea, the enemy of mine enemy. They are my friends. So, what is keeping North Korea going strong? China. Let's talk about China. You see, China is our friend. You turn over almost everything in your house. Just turn it over. I don't care if it's the pots, the pans, the stove, everything, and it says, what does it say? Made in China. Look at your clothes. It says made in China. We are friends with China, and we have been talking with China about North Korea and this food called Kim Jong-il. Here's the problem, though. They are allies with North Korea. China is. And China says, okay, all right, United States, I get it. They done shot that missile that's able to hit Guam. They can knock out Guam right now. They can knock out Alaska right now. They got a missile that can reach Chicago right now. Let's do something. So what did China do? They spanked their hands. North Korea. What did they do? What they did was they pulled back on coal. Okay, this is, we can put sanctions on coal, because coal is what's helping them feed this energy thing. So they pulled back on that. But what they did not do, China, is they did not give sanctions on food and energy. Now, see, North Korea need what? Food and what? Energy. China didn't pull back on that. They just pulled back on coal. What was that? It was an idle threat to North Korea. Why? Because it would be a catastrophe if China wished to put sanctions on food, survival, and energy. survival again. And if they did that, what would happen is there would be refugees running out of North Korea. And who is the bordering neighboring state? China. I said state, not as state meaning, but China. China is north and west of North Korea. And they will be running over into China, and China don't want that. Well, you're saying, well, look at South Korea. Couldn't they run into South Korea? No, they cannot. Why? Because South Korea put down landmines, and they know it's possibly hundreds or thousands of them suckers, and those refugees ain't gonna run over to South Korea, our ally. They're not gonna do it. They're gonna get blown up. So where do they go? They go to China. And what did China say? Oh no, we can't put sanctions on the things that they need because they're gonna overrun us. So China is always gonna give us these idle threats to North Korea. It's not gonna work. All right. Well, guess who else is their ally? North Korea. Russia. Russia. We ain't been right with Russia since the Cold War. Russia can't stand us. Putin had his hand in the whole election thing because he could not stand us, still can. So he had to use a potsy. He had to use a little boy by the name of Donald Trump. Yeah, he said, you know what? I'm going to fix this. Okay, but here's the problem. Russia is allies to North Korea. But Russia's, because they don't like us, they're going to tell you, well, we slap the hands of North Korea, but really what we really want North Korea to do is to do whatever they want to do to the United States. But they do know that there are certain sanctions, there's certain embargoes that we can put on Russia to say, okay, North Korea, just give them a little test, but don't hurt them, Hammer. Don't hurt them too much. There's only one European nation. I think it's Bolivia. Is it Bulgaria? I think Bulgaria is the only European ally of North Korea. The only one. And then there's Benin, and then there's, which is not Europe, and then there's Madagascar. Madagascar got some free stuff done. North Korea went over there and did some free things for them, so Madagascar is an ally of North Korea. You're like, how you know all this stuff? Because I've been studying all my life for over 50-something years. I've been so caught up in news and watching this stuff and world reports and what have you, and geography. I love this stuff. And it's my job to just inform you. For those of you who ask these questions, many of them are may be unlearned because you're too busy watching these reality shows that ain't doing nothing for your brain. Nothing, man. And the world is turning around us, and you be wondering, how did I lose my house? Why did the taxes rise like this? What's with this sugar tax? What's that all about? And all these things are going on. Why? Around you? Because you don't care. You get caught up in the rope-a-dope, and you get caught up in entertainment, and you get caught up in church services on Sundays, that the world continues to go Monday through Monday. The stock market is going up and down. It's affecting you, and you don't care? Please. And so we Christians talk about this 666. Y'all afraid that this company was implanting chips in the hands of the employers? Employees, and you thinking that this the sign of the Antichrist and all that stuff. You know why you asking those questions? You know why you so nervous about that? Because you ain't been paying no attention. You let them read the Bible and interpret the Bible from the church, from the pulpits, and you don't read it for yourself. You're not like the Berean church who studied it daily to see if that's what thus said the Lord. So you miss all the facts. Okay? You don't know what's going on around the world, even though we should be the most trained on eschatology, which is the study of end time. But the average Christian know nothing about eschatology. We don't. So when these countries and these continents act a fool or do certain things, we ignore it because we're like, I don't want to watch the news. It's all I hear about is killing or what have you. But one day you're gonna wake up and it's gonna affect you. And you're going to run to the people who've been talking about it all this time. And it might be too late. And I'm talking to you African Americans especially. Okay? Man, y'all need to wake up. Okay? So this stuff is happening in our backyard. As soon as they mentioned that this Kim Jong-il got a weapon that could hit Chicago, then folks started waking up. Oh my God, well, we're going to war with North Korea. You know what? You need to turn your TV off and just get on your knees and ask God to help you with your laziness. Okay, so are we going to war? No, not right now. Eventually, are we going to go to war? Yes, we will. There's going to be a World War III. Who will start it? We don't know. North Korea could be the one. Look at this guy. One black guy was the first one to be shot in the, what is that? The American Revolutionary War or something like that? First one. Somebody threw a rock. First one. It always one guy who shoots or throws a rock which starts these scuffles and these wars, okay? And the black man lost his life, all right? And that's all we knew about him. He's the first one to lose his life in the war. He was famous for that. Okay, well, could this be the one that happens? Could Kim Jong-il be the one to start World War III? Well, let me tell you something. Don't tell nobody I said this, but World War III already started. I said it. Yeah, you see, you're looking at the destruction of boom. You want to hear boom from the World War I and World War II. Boom, okay? But you don't know, it ain't really about the boom, because there are other types of things that's happening where it's the old trick of Satan making you believe that he doesn't exist, but yet he's doing stuff in your mind. Yeah, you see, because the war started really right up here. There's other kind of chemical things that can happen. There's we got the internet, which connects the world. The internet connects the world. You see, so we're thinking a boom will start World War III, but the war started on the internet. How you think you got this guy in office? Yes, come on. It's the greatest silent, secret, subtle, surprise attack that we've seen right in front of us. It started already. So the president cannot declare war. Section 8, Article 1. The job of Congress is to provide for the common defense and promote general welfare. It is stated twice in the Constitution. It's first in the preamble. Sorry, my internet paused. Establish, ensure tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity. Do and ordain and establish this Constitution of the United States of America. That's first in the preamble. Then in the sections 1 through 10, it tells you again the specifics of what the Congress is supposed to do. And one is in section 8 to declare war. They're the only ones who have the right to do that. So you says, didn't other presidents do that? Didn't we go to war in these other little places? Even did we declare war in Vietnam? Did we? Okay. Did we declare war on some of the territories in Africa? Did we declare war on Afghanistan? Did we declare war on Iran? Okay. Did Congress do that? Ooh. During the Bush administration? During Richard Nixon administration? Vietnam? Of course, it wasn't his. It was prior to that. It started creeping up in JFK's administration. But did we declare war? Did Congress officially do that? See, because the only time we saw the declaration of war was in World War II when they when Japan bombed Pearl Harbor, and then we heard this wonderful message from Roosevelt. Since that time, did Congress declare war on anybody? Okay, or are these preemptive strikes that's allowed by the president because he's the chief? Yeah, y'all need to think this out. So, this fire and fury was just a man thinking outside the box. Donald Trump. He cannot declare it, and it won't happen unless there's a missile in the air already, and we have to strike and take it down. Now we have the power. The United States have the power to take down missiles. We do. But let me tell you what God does too. When we get haughty and caught up and we think that we are the police of the world, God does something with our pride. He does, and He proved it in Scripture. When we thought we were the great and almighty sovereign. Last night we talked about what do we call it? We call it manifest destiny. Was a white supremacist movement. Okay, they felt that it is destined. God gave them the right to take over territories that the Indians already had. And if you notice, I said in Section 8, it says that Congress is set up to take care of 3 entities to regulate matters of business, commerce, with 3 entities. Notice, foreign lands, number 2, with states, number 3, with Indians. They call the Indians something else. They wasn't family, because they weren't part of states. They wasn't foreign lands, they were just something else. Just amazing, isn't that? And then Manifest Destiny came on the scene. There was already slavery when the Constitution was written up. You wasn't in part of it. They had to put an amendment in there, 1314, just to make you a part of something, okay? But y'all keep saying that the founders of the Constitution were Christians. They were not. They were deists. And some of them were Luciferians, they were Satanists, and they were antichrists. Because no Christian nation, which we not has ever been and will never be, would never a Christian nation, no Christian nation would allow the things that have happened in this country, where it was systematic, like slavery and the annihilation of the Native Americans through the Trail of Tears. No Christian nation would ever allow something like that. But yet, that's what y'all think. You were taught that, and when I remember being taught in grammar school, the Manifest Destiny, I saw this white woman like a ghost flying over. She had this book in her hand, and she was flying over our nation and things like that. And I said, ooh, that's creepy. But that was white supremacy, and it worked. So God's going to teach us a lesson, and he may have to use North Korea for the lesson. God, I thank you for your presence. I thank you for the history. I thank you for the people of God, and I thank you for the knowledge you've given us. Keep us awake. We are awake. We are awake. We will not be silent anymore. We are wide awake, and we're going to prepare the people for the coming of Christ. Either through the rapture or through your second coming, you're coming again, whether they like it or not, and we're going to prepare the people for it. Help us to open our eyes and close our eye gates to things that are distractions that we might see. There's the promised land, 2 of them, heaven, and then there's hell. God, help us, give us the ability to go out and rescue those who don't know. Teach them, evangelize to them, speak into their lives, that you live and you reign supreme. You are the only one that's sovereign. And you will not share your glory with no one. We love you in Jesus' name. Go ahead and hit the share button if you like. Share it with the people who don't know. Share it with your children especially. Let them understand American history. Yeah. Not X, but American history, world history. All right? Love you guys. I appreciate it. See you later on. Peace. For Jerusalem. Peace in the Middle East. But God said, pray for the peace of Jerusalem.